Hey my friends, Sean Tierney here, coming to you from the studios at theautomationschool.com. And in this episode of The Automation Show, we're going to set up a PanelView Plus to communicate to our PLCs over Data Highway 485. And while we do it for the PanelView Plus, what we do should also work for the PanelView Plus 6. We don't have one here at the Automation School, but it should be the same exact procedure. Now, before we actually start getting into this, I did want to say a quick thank you to all our patrons. To find out about how you can support the show and the blog and get some rewards, please check us out over at patreon.com/automation. Now, with that said, the one thing you will need for your PanelView Plus, and I'm talking about the PanelView Plus 7-inch through 15-inch, okay? Not the smaller 6-inch and 4-inch. What you'll need is one of these. Okay, this is the infamous 2711P RN6. This is an add-on module that for the PanelView Plus gives you the ability to do Data Highway Plus, Remote I/O, and Data Highway 485. Now, if you're using this on the PanelView Plus 6, the PanelView Plus 6 does not support being an I/O rack, thankfully. So no Remote I/O, no device net, and I don't believe you can do Control Net scheduled on the PanelView Plus 6. But it does support Data Highway Plus, Data Highway 45, and a Control Net unscheduled. So, and which is great because it's really difficult to do the Remote I/O and the device net. It's not fun. It's not as easy as doing Data Highway 45, Data Highway Plus, Ethernet, Control Net unscheduled. Those are all fairly easy, as we'll see today. But in any case, I probably should mention one other thing about this. If you pick these up used, be very careful about the power because this is not right. This unit here, it's right for this unit because this is a DC unit. But on an AC unit, don't think plus is L1 and minus is L2 because it's actually flipped and the ground is over here. So don't know why they did that, but be very careful. This is not, this is not always correct if you bought the unit used. And of course, this label isn't correct either because that would have been the whole unit combined. And of course, you can tell this is not a K12. So this is this is actually a K7. So keep that in mind if you buy them used. But in any case, with that said, let's go ahead and go over to the computer and get started with our new PanelView Plus program. Okay, so here at the computer, you can see that I have my UIC running, and you can see all my controls except for my ControlLogix. For some reason, it never shows my ControlLogix anymore. But you can see all the other controls we've set up over the past episodes. And we're going to do the SLC-503. We're going to do the Micro 1400, and we're going to do the L23. So 3, 14, and 23 are the addresses we're going to use. So let's minimize that. Let's go ahead and start up FactoryTalk View Studio. Now, FactoryTalk View Studio that I'm using is version 10. It's not the latest version, but there are some changes in it that were pretty substantial. But first, let's go ahead and create our new project here. I'm going to call it tab_PVP _ DH-485. Okay. And of course, it's the right 7-inch or 10-inch. I have both. So we'll create that. It'll just take a minute for it to make it. I used to have people tell me, 640 by 480, that's not a lot of resolution for a 10-inch screen. It actually is pretty good. I mean, if you remember the old big screen TVs back from the 70s and 80s, those were even less than that. So you can get a lot in 640 by 480 in a 10-inch screen. Of course, today we're used to Retina displays and, 4K, 8K displays and all that. But for an HMI, most HMIs have square boxes on them. So, square buttons and square numeric displays and whatnot. So it's really, really not that bad at all. As you can see from the image I have on here, I mean, I think that came out pretty good, That's I think that's a 512 by 512 native image logo for the Automation School. So I think it looks great. So in any case, with the newer versions, I mean, going way back there, they started including this main screen. So that's what we'll use. That's what I have up. And but before we start designing this screen, we got to set up our communications. And of course, in 10, they renamed it from RS Links Enterprise, which was a mouthful, to FactoryTalk Links, which is less of a mouthful, I guess. So let's go ahead and double click on Communications Setup. And we'll create a new configuration. And I don't have the means to add a DH-485 here for the local or design mode. Sadly, I tried to get the UIC and I tried to get the KF3 working. But if you look at everything in that list, none of those DH-485 drivers would work locally. I think it really only supports, you can see here, the PKTX. I think that's really all it supported on the PC itself, which is kind of sad. But in any case, we still can browse Ethernet. 2 of the 3 controllers are on Ethernet, so we'll be able to attach to them for design mode, for testing over Ethernet. But runtime is really where our work's going to be done, because the unit out here in the field is actually going to talk to the PLCs on DH-485. So we need to enter that in here. So let me go ahead and right click, add driver. Here we can see RN6, DH-485, that's what I want. I'll add that in here. I want him to be address 27 because the pot number is 2711, so we'll just use 27, and I'll leave everything else at the defaults. Okay. Now I need to manually add in my 3 PLCs, so let me right click and add device. And the first one will be a 503, and he's at address 3. The next one will be a MicroLogix 1400. Where are you? There you are. And he's at address 14. Try to keep things simple. And last but not least, we'll add another device here. And this will be my L23, 1769. This one right here. And I'll just choose the latest version. This is version 20. And we'll make it L23. It doesn't really check the version, so. All right. So with that done, now I have to create the shortcuts to point to them. So we'll create a, I'm going to keep these as short as possible. I'm going to make M14 for the 1400. Apply. I'm going to make a, what's next here? S53 for the SLC-5. And last but not least, I'm going to make an L23 for my L23. Oh, and you know what? Now, with serial, you just click right on the processor. Yep. So just double check these. Now, even though I've hit apply on all 3 of these, it doesn't save until I click on OK. So that's important to note. Okay. Now, with testing, we can actually test here in design mode by going Ethernet to the L23. And on this one, I do have to browse down to the controller. Okay. The 1400 is at 14 or 114. And the 503, I really can't. I don't have any Ethernet path to the 503, but I have the same program. The program I wrote for my ViewME course, I have that same program in both controllers. They all have the same exact addresses. So I'll just tie, for testing purposes, I'll just tie the 503 to my 1400, since it's really the same program in both. All right, so with that done, one other thing I want to do for Compact and ControlLogix, having this offline tag file is really helpful. It can't be across a network share, but there it is right there. But as long as it's on your local hard drive, it'll let you pick the tags out of that. I get a lot of people ask, how do I input tags into View Studio from Logix, ControlLogix, CompactLogix? And the answer is don't. There's no reason to. It's a waste to. You already have tags in the controllers. You want to directly reference those. You don't want to import them. It's really a waste. It slows the whole project down. While it's doable by using the, if we go here to Tools, Tag Import Export Wizard, you can see here, 500, right? You see here, import, you could actually export and import via CSV, but I wouldn't do it. It's just a waste of time, and that's why I don't see it natively say RSLogix 5000 right there. Okay, so we should be good. We got Ethernet, whoops, yes. We got Ethernet paths set up for local testing, and then we got the actual runtime paths that the project will use when it's running on the PanelView Plus. So we're good there. So now we have to hit OK. And now it should be saved. Now, as far as referencing the SLC-500 MicroLogix PLC-5 tags, we could directly reference those. Okay, we could go directly to them. But it's like, how are you going to remember what N7:53 means, Or we may know because we've been working with it for a few weeks, but how about somebody in the future who has to come and modify the project, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about here. If I go to Objects and I go to, let's see, numeric display and put one here, right? Yeah, I can go through the connections and I can browse for a tag value. Let me refresh all here. They actually added a button here. And, you know, I could, you know, with a CompactLogix or ControlLogix, it's nice. You can go right to the tags in the controller, and that's what you're supposed to do, okay? And while you can do the same thing for the SLC-500, PLC-5 MicroLogix, it's, you know, I mean, nobody's going to know what N753 is, right? So I don't recommend doing direct referencing with the older controllers. I do recommend creating tags, just like we used to do in older products. So how are we going to do that? So let me come over here to the tags. Okay, and like I showed you, there is an import-export wizard, but it dumps everything into the root folder. I don't use the root folder. I like to use subfolders. There's a lot of great reasons for using subfolders. I go over that in my course, but just for the sake of argument here, let's create a few subfolders. I'll do an ML1400. The other thing, I never make the subfolders here in my tag folders the same name as the shortcuts, because there was a bug in a version of the software that caused all kinds of havoc and issues if they were the same name. So, you know, once bitten, twice shy, right? So I always keep the folders a different name than the shortcuts. So we'll do an SLC-503. And what else we got here? Oops, you don't want to right click there. We'll do the CPXL23E. Okay. Now, one of the things I'm going to do here, and I would suggest you do this too, is pull up your factory talk links, or RS links. Yeah, we don't need you full screen, baby. Where'd you go? All right, let's make you a little bit smaller. Okay. Bring her over here, just so I can keep those names up, because I'm going to need them in a second, at least for these guys. Actually, I don't even need a full. I'm not even going to make tags. Like I said, there's no reason to make tags for your CompactLogix, so we're not going to make HMI tags for them. It's already in the controller. So we just need the MicroLogix 1400, SLC-500 folders. We'll do the 1400 first. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this other tag, other database browser, because this will let me not only put the tags into this folder, but I don't have to import everything. With that import-export tool, it makes you import everything, right? So unless you go in and edit the exported file, but this is much better. Watch. So I'm going to go into Browse. Okay, I'm going to clear the search field here. I'm going to browse from my actual MicroLogix 1400 program. Let's see here. I need the one with the SB in it because that's for Studio B. Let's sort them by name here. Oh, maybe there's the 514. Where are you? There you are. There we go. That's what I want. And now I can filter by N7 because, you know, we've been working with N7s. And you can see all the tags. And I want N750. Select that. Go down to 99. Hold down the Shift key. Select that whole range. But here's the key. I got to get this shortcut correct because that's going to be manually added to all of my tags that I import. And you can see that's why I kept RS links up, so I knew it was M14. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring those all in. Boom. Right? Who wants to create tags manually when you can do it that fast? I mean, that's pretty fast, right? So let's do it for the 503. Database browser. Let me find my 503. 503, there it is. Okay. Oops, still have the filter in there. That's great. The shortcut is S53. You can see that right here in RS links. And we want the same thing. N750. There you are, through 99. Okay. Everything looks good. Bring it in. Boom. So that's much better than trying to figure out what N753 is. So now, with that done, you know, if I come in here and I go to connections and tag, you know, instead of going directly, you can see, matter of fact, let's see if this is working today. Show server names. Okay, and this just, I wish this feature was on by default because this really clarifies. You can see these are RS Link shortcuts and these are tag folders. Okay, so if we want the MicroLogix 1400, okay, so let's do a MOLD asterisk filter, and then we have just all the molding tags that I imported, and we're looking for mold 1 speed. Okay, and that to me is much better than trying to direct reference N753, just because you know what it is. You know exactly what it is, right? All right, so get rid of that. Let's duplicate this a couple times. And we'll align it, evenly space it, and then we'll change this one to, let's see here, molding 2 speed. Okay, make sure this, did I press enter on that? Oh, it doesn't look like I did. Molding 1 speed. And molding 3 speed. All right, now we can test this, okay, because we told it locally, when we're testing locally in that run, in the local design time, we told it to use the Ethernet connection to the micro 1400. Okay, so let me get some text in here, objects, I think it's in the drawing, text. Okay, we'll just call this ML14, I want a bigger font. Excellent. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll duplicate this twice and change all the addresses for the SLC-503, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm doing the tags for the L23 CompactLogix, and this time we're not using an HMI tag. We'll go right out through the RSLinx Enterprise. We could either do offline if we didn't have the unit connected, or online, doesn't matter. They both give you the same thing. And then here, let me get rid of my filter here. Okay. Here we can see, I just want speed. Okay. And so it doesn't, you'll get the same syntax here, whether or not you do, offline or online. Okay. And you can see the, because this field can take an expression, you can see that's enclosed with the curly braces. Okay. And so now I have to do it for 2 more. So I'll do that. Matter of fact, I'll just fast forward the video. Okay, looks like we're done. I'm going to save my display. Let me go ahead and close RSLinx Enterprise. Let me close the display. And this is a very important part. When I go to the application to create the Runtime Application, I don't want 10 because this is a PanelView Plus, right? It's not a PanelView Plus 7 or 6. So I need to go to a 5.10. That's what's in here. Okay, so we'll create that runtime. I'll just take a moment. I'll speed up the video. Okay, that's done. Now we'll use the transfer wizard. Okay, I'll choose our program. Okay, and I get asked this a lot at the blog. I always leave all 3 of these checked. Okay, you can play around with it if you want, but if you forget to check this replace communications, you may not have any communications depending on what was in there before. And if you don't check this run application at startup, you have to dig through the configuration menu to set that to run on startup. So this will reboot the unit right away and run it. But I always check all 3 of these. You can't go wrong by checking them unless somebody's using the display as you're downloading to it. But in any case, just keep that in mind. Let me go ahead and download to. I already have the PanelView Plus selected. Let me download to it. And I'll go ahead and fast forward the video here. All right, it took a little while because Data Highway 45 is pretty slow. People like to call it instead of Data Highway, they call it Data Sidewalk. But you can see everything's coming up and all the data is coming in and it's reading nicely. And we've had success. We were able to create a project to read data in over Data Highway 485 from a MicroLogix, SLC-500, and CompactLogix. So with that, that's pretty much the end of this episode. I want to thank, again, all our patrons over at patreon.com/automation. If you want to learn how to become an insider and get rewards, check out that website. I also want to thank theautomationschool.com, where I work full-time, for letting us use their equipment in studio. If you know anybody who's looking to learn the PanelView Plus, I have a great course over there at theautomationschool.com on the PanelView Plus. It's called PanelView Plus Core Basics. It's only, I think, $59, and if you buy that version, you'll get a free upgrade in the future as I make new videos. So keep that in mind. And with that, again, if you like the show, please give me a thumbs up and a like, and you can always get in contact with me over at theautomationblog.com, as well as the forums at theautomationblog.com. And I try to read and reply to every question. We had a number of questions come up about the PanelView Plus. I've been answering them as well. And with that said, I just want to wish you all a great week. And until next time, peace.